Please welcome our next guest up to the stage, Brandy Boy.
Thank you. What was all that about, right? Tough crowd, I guess. Well, here goes nothing. You know who can never seem to get along? YouTubers. Yes, YouTubers. They're always starting drama and beefing with each other, but it doesn't just stop there. They love beef so much that they even started beefing with brands. Because nowadays, it seems that every big YouTuber is creating their own products to compete with the biggest brands in the industry. So in this video, I'm going to put a stop to this beef once and for all by taking some famous YouTuber products and combining them with their competitors' products. Yeah, I know, doing this won't really make them like each other, but it's still a cool idea, right? Okay, let's go! The first product we'll be combining comes to us from two very popular creators, LoganPaul and KSI. And you probably already know what their product is. Yup, it's Prime. Of course, we'll be combining it with Gatorade because that's clearly who LoganPaul and KSI are always comparing it to. So let's get straight into it. The first thing we'll need to figure out is a name for this combined product. And I'm thinking there's two options for the name here, Grime or Primeade. I'm not sure which one to choose. So I quickly put together these two logo concepts to help me choose which name to go with, and out of the two, I think I like the Primeade one better. Yeah, I'll go with Primeade. Hey, it's future Brandy Boy here, and I'm just here to tell you guys that past Brandy Boy made the wrong decision. Looking back, the logo just looks like a cheap knockoff of the Gatorade logo. The worst part about this is that I practically made a whole design where I had to erase everything off the Prime bottle, make a label with the lightning bolt cut out of it, add lights and shadows, put the logo on there, put all the bottle information, draw the Gatorade bottle as an Among Us, Wait, why did I draw the Gatorade bottle as an Among Us? Anyway, the point is that I spent a lot of time on a design that I wasn't really sure if I liked or not. I mean, I don't necessarily think it looks bad, but what bothered me the most was this huge empty space. Like, what am I even supposed to put here? I couldn't find a good way to fill up that space, so I brought back the Grime logo to see what it would look like. And it actually solved the problem of having too much empty space on the bottle. The only thing now is that the sideways lightning bolt looked kinda weird, but that's when I got an even better idea. I made the lightning bolt way bigger, and I even made some parts go in front and behind the letters. And now the logo looks like this. With this new logo, I finally felt like I was back on track. I put the logo back into my design and gave it a bit of a curving effect and added some lighting and shadows to make it look like it was actually printed on the label. At this point, I noticed that compared to the Gatorade and Prime bottles, my design wasn't showing much of that red color, which is a really important aspect because that's basically the main way that both of these brands show the flavor of their drinks. And over here on my design, I have this huge lightning bolt in the logo, so I'm thinking if we just select the inner part of a lightning bolt and erase it, it creates a window that lets us see more of the actual drink inside. And I think this is really cool because if we change the color of the drink, you can see how the color pops out way more from the actual logo. Honestly, watching the colors change is so satisfying. Sorry, I got carried away there, but yeah, that's basically it for the design. LoganPaul and KSI's Prime plus Gatorade equals Grime. Next up, we have the product from the biggest YouTuber on the site right now, MrBeast. And obviously his product is Feastables, and we'll be combining it with Hershey's of course, because we all know how much he hates them.
I think Hershey's bars just taste like shit, to be honest.
One needs to go in the trash.
Again, I'll start by combining the logos of these two brands, and this one could be a bit tricky because the Feastables logo has a MrBeast mascot up here, which essentially is like a logo inside of a logo. I'm thinking we can combine this mascot with the Hershey's mascot. Wait, does Hershey's even have a mascot? Okay, so they do have one, but I'll be honest, I do not like this guy. I mean, just look at his face, he's so creepy. So apparently Hershey's also uses a Hershey's Kiss as a mascot, and I found this logo, which contains the Kiss chocolate in it. And this might be a bit of a stretch, but I can already somewhat see a similarity in the shapes. So I quickly sketched out my idea, and once it was finished, I took it into Illustrator to vectorize it. I cleaned up the lines, added some color, and using the free transform tool, I made sure the head of the mascot followed the shape of the Hershey's Kiss as closely as possible. While I continued working on the mascot, I got a better idea for the eye. I copied the Hershey's Kiss and turned it sideways to replace the eye of the panther, just as a subtle way of incorporating more of the Kiss logo in there. And that's the mascot done. Next, let's go over to the text that says MrBeast. Let me explain what I have in mind for this. I'm thinking we can mix the name of MrBeast with the creator of Hershey's, which is Milton S. Hershey. But I couldn't really find a way to mix those names together, so I kept looking online and I actually found out that Milton S. Hershey had a nickname, Chocolate King. So I'm thinking we can mix their two nicknames by making our logo say MrBeast King. I typed out King and placed it next to the MrBeast text and gave it the same outline as the rest of the letters. Now for the actual brand name. I decided I wanted to call this brand Feasties. So here I have the Feasties typed out in the Hershey's font. I'll just round off the corners, make the letters white, and give everything a brown 3D outline. And that's the Feasties logo done. Now onto the actual packaging. I put the combined logo on there and I set it up on the top left corner. Now let's choose a background color. One package is blue and one is brown. So I split the background diagonally, and to make the transition of the color a bit smoother, I cut the chocolate liquid from the Feastables design and placed it on the diagonal. So now it looks like the brown part is chocolate flowing into the design. On the Hershey's package, they have a picture of their chocolate bar coming in from the right, and I want to do something similar for mine. So I found this picture, which I think will look better for what I have in mind. I got rid of the background and also got rid of the Hershey's logo and the chocolate and placed it on the right side of the design. I also grabbed a few of the chocolate pieces from the Feastables design and placed them in a way that made them look like they were shooting off from the direction of the chocolate bar. Once all that looked good, I selected some of the chocolate pieces, copy and pasted them under each other, and added some motion blur to give them an effect like they were flying off quickly. Next, I added a pink rectangle that contained the flavor of the chocolate, and I also added some rays of light protruding out from the back of the logo. I was about to call it done, but I actually went back and added a crown made of the Hershey's Kisses on top of the mascot's head, because the mascot was looking a little too much like a beast with not enough king. I mean, he is a MrBeast king after all. Finally, I took the Feasties logo and placed it on the chocolate bar with a bevel and emboss effect to make it look like it was actually engraved into it. And with that, our combination is complete. MrBeast Feastables plus Hershey's equals Feasties. Now onto our final product combination. This one comes to us from famous YouTuber duo RhettandLInk. Their product is called MishMash, which is a breakfast cereal. They actually have two different flavors that have their own cereal box designs, but I'll go with this yellow one because it's got more things on it that I can work with. When it came to choosing what other brand to combine it with, I couldn't really find who they were trying to compete with, so I checked out RhettandLInk's video series where they put the top cereals head to head to find out what the best cereal is, which they said is
Cinnamon Toast Crunch!
So that's what I'll be combining it with. To speed things up a bit, I went ahead and combined the company and cereal logos. I ended up calling the company Mythical Mills, and the combined cereal name is MishMash Crunch. With the logos done, let's go on to the actual box design. The first thing I did was place the combined logo on the upper part of the design. Next, I started working on getting a cereal bowl in here. I decided to take the cereal and the milk from the Cinnamon Toast Crunch design because I liked how it was presented better on there. I only cut out the milk and the cereal, making sure to leave out the bowl because for my design, I wanted to have a white bowl instead to be able to put the name of the flavor on it like they have it on the MishMash box. Once I put the bowl into place, I darkened up some parts where the milk would be casting a shadow on it. For the flavor of the cereal, I decided to take the honey flavor from MishMash and the cinnamon flavor from Cinnamon Toast Crunch. I wanted to use the same font that they use in the MishMash design, but I couldn't find it anywhere online, so I ended up just taking all the letters from the MishMash box and rearranging them to make it read out cinnamon and honey. Next, I took the honey pot from the MishMash box because I knew I wanted to have it somewhere in the background of my design. Since I couldn't get a good quality picture of it, I ended up going over most of the lines to make it look clear. After that, I wanted to get a mascot in here. And at first I was thinking about combining the mascots themselves, but MishMash has this guy whose name is the Randler, who is already a combination of a mouse, a bird, and a reindeer. I think it would be too much if I then tried to throw some crazy squares in there. So this time I think I'll just keep the mascots designs alone, but I'll still have the mascots from both brands on the box. MishMash has the Randler just sort of floating there on the front of the box, but I found this other design which I think will work better for my design. I cut him out, but when I placed him in my design, it was looking a bit cluttered with the honey pot on the left. So I changed it over to the right side and made it smaller to give the Randler more space. Now the Randler's pose doesn't make too much sense at the moment, so what I did was change his eyes to be looking down at the cereal. Then I brought his arm up a bit because I wanted him to to be holding a spoon in his hand. And luckily I found a design from the back of another MishMash box that includes a spoon in it. So I cut it out and placed it roughly where his hand would be so that I could draw his hand back in actually holding it. Then I drew the rest of his body and his legs. Next I cut out some of the colorful swirls including the crazy squares from the Cinnamon Toast Crunch box and placed them into my design, then shifted them around to better fit my composition. This guy who was surfing in the background was being covered by one of the antlers, so I decided to bring them forward to the bottom left corner. His tongue is pretty long though, I do not like that. Let me just...
Nice.
Some of the swirls looked incomplete from when I cut them out, so I drew in the rest to complete them. To emphasize more of the honey flavor from the cereal, I drew honey coming out of the honey pot and made it meet up with the rest of the swirly pattern. I also copied one of the cinnamon squares and placed them standing on the honey pot because I wanted it to look like it was stuck in the honey. So I changed its expression and added honey stuck to the bottom of its shoe. Now we have the honey aspect shown pretty well, but we still need to show the cinnamon aspect of the cereal, so I cut out the cinnamon powder from the Cinnamon Toast Crunch box and sprinkled it around my design. And that was pretty much it for the front of the box, but there's still the side of the box and I don't want to leave that empty. Basically, all I did was add a long swirl that flowed down the side of the box and added both the cinnamon squares and some different heads of the Rambler along the swirl. And with that, our product combination is complete. RhettandLInk's MishMash plus Cinnamon Toast Crunch equals Cinnamish-Mash Crunch. Just as a reminder, here are all the YouTuber product combinations we made today. I think my favorite has to be the Cinnamish-Mash Crunch, but let me know which design is your favorite down in the comments. Overall, these were all super fun to make, but they also took a bit more time to put together, so make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. It helps me out a lot, and it lets me know that you guys want to see more of these types of videos. Once again, thanks for watching. Take care. Bye.